Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to show you my top 5 tips and tricks of how you can navigate your way around the game of Upland. Tip number 4 and number 5 will be especially important for you if you're a beginner, so make sure to stick around until the end of this video. Let's begin. My tip number 1 is this option on the right side here, this button. When you click this button, let's see what happens. So now it's turned on and immediately it shows you all neighborhoods in this city. Right now I'm in Kansas City and I can see all different neighborhoods that I can buy property in. For example, when you zoom in a little bit more, you will see the names, and this is also super useful. For example, if there are some collections, if I open collection and I see a name of this collection, for example Shoal Creek, this is the name of some of these neighborhoods, and sometimes when you're crawling around and looking at different neighborhoods, you can see exactly what you need. So that's my first important suggestion for you. By default, this option is off, and now you can see there are no any specific borders. But when you click here, you can see all the neighborhoods around. So this works for all different cities. Let's see Chicago. Click here, and now we can see where can we buy properties at this moment. Zoom in and you will see the names of all different neighborhoods. So have in mind to check this option on every time you navigate your way around the game. So that's my tip number 1, Neighborhood Button. My tip number 2 is buying versus minting properties. Let me show you what I mean. If I click on this button here and I go to my Explorer, if you want to mint a property, that means that no one owns this property yet. You want to be the first owner, and to mint it, that means that your Explorer must be near. And when you discover this property with your Explorer, you will be able to buy it. If your Explorer is not around, you will not be able to mint, but you will be able to buy. Let me show you an example. Right now, my Explorer is in Kansas City, discovering some new properties, and for example, these green ones are for sale. The only properties available for mint are the light gray ones. At this point I don't have any around, and this property, for example, is owned by someone else, but it's not for sale. That's one super important fact. To mint property, you must send your Explorer around to be near the property, and then you can mint it. If you want to buy, you don't have to have your Explorer around. Let me show you what I mean. For example, let's zoom out. Here we are in Chicago, and I can zoom in. All of these green properties around that you can see are available for me to buy, and just by clicking on one of them, I can see the price, 15,000 UPX. I can click here buy if I have enough money, and that's pretty much it. You can buy any of these properties for USD or for UPX, but the biggest difference is if you want to mint, and if you're a beginner, you will be minting a lot of new FSA properties. That's why your Explorer must go around these properties, and later on in the game you will be able to buy properties for UPX or USD all around the map. Your Explorer does not have to be around. My tip number 3 is property button. So again, we go on the side and you can see this property button here. Let's use it. For example, if I'm hovering about Chicago and click on this button, I will only see the properties in this city, so I will not be able to see any other city and properties in it. And I can see the cheapest one here, and down below the price is rising. So at this moment, when I'm filming this video, the cheapest property in Chicago is almost 6 USD. For example, if I zoom in now and I want to see just this Englewood properties, I go here, and now when I click this button again, I will have only the properties that are inside my screen view. Now the information has changed, and now I can see only the properties that I can see on my screen. So that's really important. If I zoom out a little bit more, I can see only this part of the city. Click on the property button, and here we go. You can see the cheapest one, and down below the price goes higher. So that's my tip number 3. You will be using this button pretty often, and it's really useful. Just have in mind that what you see, that's what you get. So you cannot get properties from New York City if you're not viewing your city on your screen, and just click this button, and then you'll have a pretty nice list and you can buy the cheapest one right away. My tip number 4 is collections. I have one video only talking about collections, and you can check out this video right here. But shortly put, collections are super important, especially if you're a beginner. Let me show you what I mean. We can view our collections in the city of Chicago. Let's open them. Clicking here, we can change the city that we want to check. Let's go Chicago. And you can see that here I'm missing one property that I need to put inside, so I can make these collections in the beginning. You should all focus on collections. If you just begin with the game, that's your first task. One other important thing about collections is that some of these cards, let's name them cards, can be filled only once, and that's City Pro example. I cannot fill this again in Chicago or in Kansas or in any other city. You can just fill it once and then it stays there forever until you want to change them. And tip number 5, the last but not the least, is also important for beginners. Why? Because when you're a beginner, you will have special properties available only to you to buy. Let me show you what I mean. If I go to my Explorer and open the map, on the map you will see some of these FSA properties standing around my Explorer. If at this moment I want to buy them, I will not be able because my level is Pro. Let me open the levels. When you're Uplander, that means that you have between 10,000 and 100,000 net worth. You can see I'm now almost 200,000 UPX net worth. When you're between 10,000 and 100,000 UPX, you will be able to buy these FSA properties, and that's my super important tip to all of you beginners, to focus and to buy and to mint only these properties. If you go back to minting, that means that your Explorer must be around, going around the city, and when it reaches this property here or this property here, you will be able to buy it for some really cheap price. And that's the point. These properties are cheaper than regular ones that I at this point can buy. So that's my tip number 5. Super important tip to mint properties, mint FSA properties if you're a beginner, and do not buy too many UPX. Let me see here. Let me show you. So if you're a beginner and you want to buy UPX, do not go for 100,000 at the beginning, because then you will lose your chance to buy these FSA properties. Go for 50,000 at least, and then buy one by one, fill up the collections, take your time, explore the game, do not rush, and then you'll be off for a good start. At this point, I would like to finish my video. If you found these 5 tips useful, make sure to like the video, subscribe, stay in touch with my upcoming videos, and I'm going to see you in Upland.